Hello, creatures. Halloween is very close now, and we have another sound design video. This time, we are doing some disturbing drops. I almost called it something else, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was like downers or downrisers. What I'm making is the opposite of a riser, a drop. Now, not to be confused with like the drops of a downbeat of a song or something that sort of leads into the downbeat. This is something that has actually been used in a number of sample libraries for horror music and stuff, where it's essentially an impact, kind of like a drum or a percussive sound, where not only does the volume or the loudness of the sounds decrease over time, but so does the pitch. Everything just sort of goes down, right? Like a drop. It just drops. Yeah. The sound that we'll be making is this. For this sound, I'm also going to be using faceplant, and this is another pretty simple sound. You just have to take in certain elements and apply it to your sound. Whatever sound that you want, whether it's analog or virtual analog, FM, wavetable, noise, whatever it is, with a pitch, it's essentially you want to control the loudness with an envelope that affects both the loudness and the pitch, right? You want the pitch to go down. This can be a sound that's either a one-shot, so it plays just once, or it could be something that is looped or sequenced or otherwise repeating. And so we're just going to see what we can make here. Let's throw in an analog, because why not? And to make it a little weird, why don't we add in a wavetable? And I'm going to use the wavetable to modulate this. But of course, we have to pick the right one. Let's see. This one's kind of interesting. It's pretty dark. There's some dissonance there. Interesting. Okay, so let's change our envelope and get a general shape for this drop. I'm gonna make this a little bit longer, actually. About, what is that, 1 second to 1 second or so? Somewhere around there, yeah. Now, let's add an envelope. And we're gonna use this to control the pitch. To make sure that the decay and the release are at least the same length, maybe even longer than the envelope stages for this sound. Now, in one of my other videos, I pointed out that this is something that can happen if you're only modulating the pitch for one of this. If you're using FM, is that you're going to hear this weird sort of aliased modulating effect because you're only changing the pitch of one of them. So if we want this to sound a little bit nicer, we affect the pitch of both of them. Somewhere around there, right? That's also kind of nice too. Now, since I am modulating this from the envelope here, if I were to change the envelope to do this, we can hear the effect that it has on our first oscillator, is that its modulation is reducing over time because it's being controlled by this envelope. Okay, so right now we just have that. We can add some weird sort of effects to this if we turn on the unison here and detune the sound. And just because I feel like being a little zesty, I'm going to assign this envelope to the detune knob. So we have this kind of effect. But now I'm going to throw a wrench in the works. And I'm going to add some noise. And the noise... the noise is going to do the same thing that this oscillator is doing right here. And I'm going to modulate this with the noise. I'm going to turn the slope all the way over to the right for brown noise. So it's very dark, and if we modulate it too much, it just sounds very noisy. So we're not going to do that. Okay, there we go. I want this to be an octave lower. Okay. Now, we could also modulate the frames here, and I wonder if I should do it with an LFO instead. Just to hear what it sounds like. That's interesting. Now I'm going to add a filter, because I do want to filter out some of these sounds. Add a note modulator so that it tracks. And then add this to here as well. Bring this down a bit. Okay. Now, the thing is that it's very bright. There's a lot of harmonic overtones going on, but I want to add something that is going to boost the fundamental a little bit more, which means we might be better off with just a sine wave for this one, or something close to a sine wave. Now with this one, there's no pitch just yet, but I'm curious how that would sound with this. Nope, too much. Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting. We could do that too. We can modulate this first sound with this bassy sound. And what we can do, I kind of want to do this. I'm going to use an envelope to modulate that. So what's going to happen is this. Modulate that. So now this envelope attack is going up. This is modulating the modulation of the fundamental tone to this higher tone right here. It sounds like that. Of course, we can make this even nastier with some distortion. Ooh. You can add some cool effects to it with a comb filter. Almost like a phasing kind of effect to it. And you can pick whichever frequency you want. Ooh. And finally, some reverb. I'm changing the filter modulation amount just a little bit, just to fine-tune it. Now, this kind of sound is better suited for the lower pitch notes, but you can play higher if you want, if that's a sound that works for you. But I do want to do some more with this, a little bit more modulation with this. What if I do some feedback? All right, that is the main part of the sound. What if we were to loop it, though? Now, to loop this, I've actually added a different LFO here. So what's going to happen is this is going to only going to affect the filter, detune amount, and the harmonic pitch of the fundamental, but everything else is going to be affected by this instead. That means for us to hear it, these have to sustain. That one also. Maybe modulate the filter on this just a little bit. Very dark percussion sound. Dark percussive loop. Something very foreboding, something very threatening is coming your way, and it's coming faster. It's gonna get there soon. Gonna get there soon, it's coming. It's getting closer. It's almost there. It's almost there. It's almost there. Now it just sounds like a race car. Okay. Ooh. So yeah, this is a dark, disturbing drop. Or at least one way to make a dark and disturbing drop. You want to have, a number of different elements, but the idea is to get everything you can think of. The pitch, the tuning, modulation amount if there is any of that, filtering, all of that going to drop down. You start from one level and then you get down to 0 at the end. And you can loop it like you have here, or you can have it be a one-shot like I had earlier. Ooh. That was a cool sound right there. All right, and that is Disturbing Drops, and those were my Halloween sound design videos for the spooky month of October. Have yourselves a good night. Hope you don't get too scared. Hope you have a great Halloween, and yeah, I'll hit you up next time with some more sound design coming soon. I don't know exactly when, but they're coming. Okay, just give me time. I've got other projects being worked on at the same time, but I will get them out to you. So, as always, have yourselves a good night, evening.